Don't blink, you should blink. With very little storage. What's going on here? I'm considering Walks are having a wonderful day on this 27th September 2025. Today we are going to be working on doing some recap. Don't worry, there's no rush for this one, which is great. There's no rush for this day for today. Remember that we're doing a movie every single day in the month of October, which is a scary movie. The reason why I'm telling you is because we're starting out a new series recap now. Ultimately speaking, it's not really a series, it's a season for a series called Resident Evil. I don't know who made it, to be honest. I don't know when it was made, but it's on Netflix. Now, ultimately speaking, I'm gonna be completely honest. We've been reviewing shows like Prison Break that I love. We've been reviewing shows like well, I could do a review of Third Park Jails. We've been reviewing a ton of shows, and most of them I do like. Most of them I like a little bit. I like a lot. Sorry, there's a feeling of love there. I'll be completely honest. I watched the Resident Evil series that we were about to do, and I couldn't finish it because I was just not interested. Third Park Boy Jill. Okay. Now, why are we doing it? Because we're doing a marathon for Resident Evil, so I want to have everything that has to do with Resident Evil. May it be the movie, maybe it be the series, may it be whatever you want, whatever it is. It's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be super duper cool. And if it's interesting, it's interesting. If it's not, it's not. Worst case scenario, right now we're playing Resident Evil Zero right now. Is it a great game? No. Is it an okay game? It's more than okay. It's actually a really cool little game. We're not gonna reinvent the wheel with this one, but at the same time, it's really nice. So, all of this to say, all of this to say that I'm gonna be playing the second, the third, which are a remake, which are great, and I'll be watching the movies. Some of them are great, some of them are not good. The Resident Evil movie have a what should we call it? What is this word? It's a reputation for not being the greatest. However, I feel like we'll do whatever we want to do. Now, ultimately speaking, we are recapping episode 1 and 2. I'm trying to find more information about the specific of. My apologies. Yeah, we ate a lot of cheese today. Now my body's like, ooh, what have you done to me? And I don't know why when my body is talking to me, it has this German accent. I'll be back. This is my whenever makes me poop shoot. They tell me I'll be back. So this is episode. Okay, so I want to make sure 3. Perfect. Perfection, 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 perfection. So what do we know about the show? Let's see what we know about the show. I think I'm gonna be starting to add this as a newer thing. So it was released in 2022. So it's yeah, there's not a lot. So we're gonna start with New Raccoon City. Now here is my first problem with this series, and this is not a problem with the series. This is a problem with myself. I pretend like I'm very well versed, and I'll be back and Resident Evil, but I'm not. I do know some of the game. I do know some of the lore. I it's crazy. I love Resident Evil 8, so I know the lore of the villains. It's crazy because I love Resident Evil 4, so I know how a lot of the lore. For example, how does the now I'm gonna look stupid, but how does the virus works, right? What was it again? Moria, something like that. So, welcome to the New Raccoon City means to me that there's another Raccoon City. Now, I don't know where this is starting. Is it a big problem? No, it's not a big problem. It isn't a big problem. Because during the show there's some explanation as to it, but I just want to know if it's after Raccoon City, if it's after Leon, and you know what I mean, right? Jeff Valentine. So, we have a lady. Now, this is the way to start a show. This is the way to start a show because you can see that there's this girl, right? She has some knowledge. Ooh, it's loud. I got neighbors. It is 11 o'clock at night. So not super late, but not super early. So we got this girl, and she's a survivor, right? You can see that she's doing studies. Now, this is super cool because Resident Evil, one trait that we know is umbrella. Whatever it is, umbrella, there's Resident Evil, right? So we know that. Now, here's the craziest thing: you see this person, and you ask yourself, "Are you working for Umbrella?" Right? Now, if you know a bit more about Resident Evil, you can ask yourself, "Are they working for Stars?" They're possibly not working for Stars. So you ask yourself. So this established itself as a very cool beginning. You establish yourself as not only a person that is able to survive, but a person that understands how infected are acting, which I do find in itself amazing. Now, in the very beginning, it's kind of complex because there's um, there's two characters that are important, right? Now, if you read the subtitle, which we do because I think it adds something, even if I'm listening to it, I like to have the subtitle. I don't know why. It's just by habit because I watch a lot of anime, which the English sub. And then there's future and then there's past, right? So you see the characters. Now we see her, and she's doing a study on enemies. Now, in itself, we have no clue who she is. What I love here is there's also a lot of debris, right? So when you look at it, it's for example, you look at the beginning of a pandemic. Now, what show that does this very well is gonna be Walking Dead. Walking Dead out there is one of the only show that I know that's doing a apocalyptic world years, decades later, which is good because you see how it works. One of the other things that did it was I Am Legend. I Am Legend is phenomenal because in 3 years, so this is why I love talking about this because yes, we're talking about Resident Evil. So why am I mentioning I Am Legend? Why am I mentioning Walking Dead? Because there's zombie, right? You wanna talk zombies? You wanna talk zombies? You don't talk Walking Dead. You talk Greg Romero. You talk Greg Romero, Dawn of the Dead. That's the forefather of the undead. You want to talk book? You talk about Adrian Ring. Um, you talk about plenty of things. Resident Evil as a game in itself might have been revolutionary with the survival, but at the same time, I don't know. I do not know. I do not know. I know because I'm gonna show you. There's this. I'm gonna show you, right? Because and this is very much so not Resident Evil, so I'm sorry about that. But there is this, I think it's Early Bird, her name on YouTube. So Early Bird, there you go. Early Bird is a channel. You take out the porn in there because yes, there's porn. Early Bird is a channel that specializes in a very niche content. What you're gonna do is you're gonna do PS1 and PS2 games that are scary, right? Now, what is insane with that is there's I never knew there was so much of it. Now, Resident Evil in itself might be the Final Fantasy of horror game when it comes to horror. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm so sorry. Now they say Insight is 2020. Why am I talking about this? Well, it's important to establish the importance of Resident Evil. You know, the beauty of Resident Evil is the movies which are cringy. I only saw the live one. So because the movie are cringy, you can kind of expect to have a funny. When you look at horror, in my opinion, there is this subspecies of horror movie that are funny. You talk about Child Play. You talk about a bunch of slasher in the 80s. Freddy Krueger, who was hella funny. Hella funny. And then you look at Resident Evil and you just expect it, right? So, also, I think it's important to know some of the lore of Resident Evil, which I don't know. And I just don't think that this show will be the gateway to it. But at the same time, are the movie the gateway to it? I don't know. And it's kind of cool in itself. I want to applaud the initiative, and again, applaud myself, which sounds super dickish. But I want to applaud the initiative. Why? Because the initiative in itself is what? The initiative in itself is, I don't know much about it. I know that I love it. I explored enough to say, okay, well, this is almost a guaranteed love for the series, but I don't know much about it, right? So we're going in blind. We're diving in. So what's going on is she is doing some tests. This is super cool because what she does is she releases a rabbit, right? So then what she's trying to do, and this is very nice because she's explaining it after, right? Now, if you looked at it, you wouldn't give a fuck. But you see it. See, with Resident Evil, you kind of want to know Las Morta. That was the virus. I want to know where it comes from, right? So with her, what she does is she wants to see if there's going to be a an evolution. She believes that the zombies are going to evolve again, which is super cool. Now, when you realize, right, why Jade is so important. Jade is the daughter of Wesker. Wesker, which is a huge head and umbrella, right? Now, here's a problem, right? I know it's Adam Wessler. We didn't know if Adam. It might be the brother of Adam. It might be the father of Adam. I don't know, right? So Jade may feel guilt in there, but she's also one of the better places to do this because she is so close in the she is so close in the development of it, right? What she does is she does rabbits. So what she's trying to do is evolve. Now, the cool thing here is also evolution in a state of, well, okay, so you look at lions, right? The lions or even the wolf, they're very specific. They're animals that are living in groups. There's a word for that in meurtre in French. In meurtre, c'est quoi meurtre? A pack of wolf, right? Or a pack of lion. And there's an order to where they eat. What she's trying to do here is trying to establish, okay, well, is there a sense of society? Is there a sense of alpha, omega, beta? Alpha being the top, beta being the second, omega being at the bottom. I think it's possibly wrong, I'm not sure. You know what I mean, right? And this is something that we see with animals that have next to zero surrounding. The graphics are kind of nice. I gotta say, it's well made. I also have to say that I do appreciate the work of the makeup. You can tell it's makeup, and you can tell it's not. CGI. Now, what I'm gonna complain a little bit here, a little bits, right? You look at the zombie and the first one. This is the first one you see, so it's established that these are scary. They're scary looking, right? And then you look at the other one, and the other ones they're not put in work. So if you're gonna make zombies as scary, make all of them as scary. Don't make one as scary. However, this is an impactful scene because this is the first zombie that you see, and because it's the first zombie that you see, you're gonna see, okay, well, guess what? This is the bar set. This is where we set the bar for what our zombie will look like. And there you go. It's not, honestly, it's not super interesting because at the same time, and this is kind of the problem of, of something like Resident Evil, right? I'm gonna keep coming back to Walking Dead because this is really my blueprint when it comes to horror show. Because this is, yes, it's based on a game, it's in a horror show. The Walking Dead does it super well because you never feel like they're surrounded. When they're surrounded with zombie, there's a problem, but zombie aren't the main issue. Jay doesn't follow the simple rules of don't go out alone, right? Make sure that you're protected. And she's fighting them. So it's a case of, okay, well, you're in a bad position, but it's not a case of, how can I say this? It's not, okay, so technically speaking, I think the beauty, okay, we're gonna go back to Walking Dead. Technically speaking, the beauty of Walking Dead is you see Rick, you see Shane, you see Daryl in the beginning, starting to hunt zombies, right? We're watching here because I'm gonna die soon. Tower, 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 and tower. I'm gonna tournament, which is quite important. Thank you very much. My apologies. And then you look at them, and at the beginning they don't know how to fight zombies, right? So after that, wow, they're super expert at killing zombies. Now, is Jade good at killing zombies? Is she better than the next one? We don't know. We don't know. Also, there's no explanation as to if she's supposed to be strong, if she's supposed. Right now, she took some dangerous risk, and you're not sure as to why. So now we have a pass, right? Now, what I'm gonna say here is gonna be a bit touchy. You saw Whisker, right? So Whisker with his daughter comes, and his daughter are Jade and Billie Eilish, if I remember. And this is super cool because they go to the new Raccoon City. So this the new Raccoon City is what happened in Tijuana. I don't know what happened. I don't know how you call it, right? But basically, this is the old Raccoon City that got destroyed, and they created this new Raccoon City. Now, technically speaking, this is a very powerful plot point because it serves multiple functions. I like to talk a lot, so if you don't like that, you're not in the right place. So this is kind of interesting because the Umbrella City is a trademark of Raccoon City is a trademark of Resident Evil. First of all, it's a trademark of there's a city that was before it and it got broken. Like for example, when you go to New England, like okay, well this is not England, this is New England. What happened there? Well, we colonize and we call it in England, but we want to make a difference, so we call it New England, right? So with the Raccoon City, this is specific because Raccoon City fell, right? Now, to what degrees, we don't know. We don't know if it fell completely in some sort, we don't know, right? We know that there's a need for a new Raccoon City, and that's important. It's also about how she's explaining that they took a place, I don't remember what they call it, but they took a city and they basically built it and they made it a paradise. So then you realize that it's kind of like a military base. It doesn't feel like a military base, but it is a military base. So it's a military base would be like you got corporal and shit like that, but it's sort of a very concentrated camp. And if your father, your mom is important, then you belong here, right? It's like a Fort Lauderdale, Fort Knox, somewhat similar to that, right? So now, what you have also, the last important thing is it's acting as a snow globe. So this is problematic because why? Because in the snow globe, everything might seem okay, but what is life outside of snow globe? For example, you got this set of land that is completely free out of infected zombie, whatever you want to call it, right? It doesn't mean the rest of the world isn't affected, and because it doesn't mean that the rest of the world is infected, that it isn't, right? So you're not establishing a correct way to set up the stakes. If you set up the stakes, you're able to say, okay, well, this is the situation. This is why we need this is why we need a repairment, and this is the solution, right? Problem, solution, execution. Now, there is this something, and talk about Joy. So they're creating this product called Joy, and this is something that is kind of cool, really cool actually, because in most zombie movies or infected movies, because I don't know if they call it zombies or something like that, is they are literally like you're trying to fix something. So I Am Legend, they were trying to fix cancer. 28 days later, it was the Rage virus. Resident Evil, it was the T virus. Now, there's some information in there, and it's quite nice. Wesker, what's my problem with Wesker? Also, we'll go with Wesker, right? Wesker in itself says, well, there's a lot of components to the medication Joy. Joy is an antidepressant that makes you very happy. It's one of the better antidepressants out there. And he says there is a working that where is the T virus, and the T virus was supposed to be for military purposes. Now, this is the crazy part because this is Umbrella. Umbrella, this is stupid because in Resident Evil lore, again, I'm not versed. If you know, let me know in the comments. This is what I know, this is what I understand, okay? So, from what I understand, Umbrella Corps, what they did was they did some really bad stuff. They created a lot of zombies, and then what happened is Umbrella started doing some good. I think it's in the 8th or in the 7th game, Umbrella's out there, and they're like, okay, well, let's fix our mistakes. Now, is they're trying to fix our mistakes or not? I don't know. I have no clue, because if you look at the if you look at the 8, you see the cave and you see the giant Metamucil, which is kind of crazy. The giant mold, which is kind of crazy, right? So with that, they're saying that, okay, well, we're not hiding ourselves, and this is cool because you see the perception or the perspective of a Umbrella operative. We made this virus for viruses in French. We made this virus for military purposes. Now, my problem with Wesker is that we have this image of Wesker, right? And it's not complex. It's not complex. Wesker is this asshole, but really, really this asshole. And you recognize him because he's always wearing like glasses, and he's kind of beefy. Now, the actor they took for Wesker, I do have a problem with that because when I look at this person, and it's kind of amazing because it's an actor that I like a lot, but I like him a lot for a very specific reason, in which we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there absolutely. But when you look at Wesker, I don't see him as an asshole. It doesn't look like an asshole. It looks like a guy who's asking questions. It looks like a guy who is a decent father, not the best father, but somewhat of a good father, right? And it doesn't feel like it's a right casting for the role. Now, ultimately speaking, why do I love this actor? I may be wrong, but if I'm not wrong, this guy is voice acting for one of the most important people in Destiny. There's three classes. There's the Titan, there's the Warlock, and there's Clyde Six who plays the I don't know, the Ranger Assassin, um, and the actor voice act for Titan, which is the melee class, the ball class, the tank class of Destiny. Why do I like him a lot? Because he voice acted for this one. He voice acted for this game, and then he started playing the game and really had fun. And he was really part of the. He was very part of the community. He was a huge part of the community. He was very present, right? And what is super nice is, and again, if that's the right guy, I'm sorry, but when he died, um, everywhere on the map they had an emote where they were doing a salute, and it's just highly respected, you know. And that's because of the person, not the character they're playing, but the person itself. Yeah, but as Wesker, I don't see him. And again, you have to understand something, okay? Currently speaking, we're playing Resident Evil Zero. I have notion of who Wesker is. I saw him in Resident Evil 4, where he's a complete asshole to Ada. I saw him, and that's it. Oh, I saw him in 2 and 3rd, in the tree. I don't know if he's there. I don't know if he's there. But if he is, I don't remember him. So I basically only know him as an asshole to Ada. Oh no, I also know him as a playable character as a mercenary Resident Evil 4, which is a fantastic mode. Let's continue. It's kind of cool that we have Billy and Jade. Why? Well, Billy and Jade are gonna be two completely different characters. It is nice to have sister or brothers because you establish that they're close and they'll fight for each other, but you also establish the importance of nurture and nature. Billy and Jade become completely different people, even though they have the same father, even though they have the same environment growing up, even though they had the same influence. They're changing. Billy is a bit weaker, so Jade will be acting as a bigger sister and a more protective sister, which is kind of good. Was important because the character that we see is Jade, is future Jade. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know if it's the same Jade. I don't know, but I think it is. So yeah, so we got the Umbrella Corpse again. It's kind of nuts because the Umbrella Corpse is kind of disgusting. You see Jade, she runs away because of the giant worm, and the giant worm is absolutely phenomenal because we saw in the games that yes, the problem isn't the zombie itself. The problem is going to be a giant. The problem is going to be there's bigger werewolf. Yeah. So there's a group of people, right? And they want to sell her. And this is super cool because at first you're like, okay, well, what can you give us and what can we give you? It's a system of helping each other, but it's still groups, which is very akin to what we see in Walking Dead. Now they discover that Jade is on the hit list of Umbrella, so they want to sell her. The surrounding is actually pretty cool. So we don't know what really happened. However, we know that Billy was seen as this psycho because she was very violent, she was very angry, and she used to fight a lot. So they had a move, and then she changed a lot as a result of that. For example, Jay tell her like, "Yo, everybody likes you. You beat a bully." She'll be the bully in this episode. You be the bully, but she still felt resistant. And this is also cool because this is and the psyche of the characters is very important. You have two characters important, which is Jade and Billy. Jade see this new opening as this new living situation as a opportunity to mingle with people. Okay, thank God we did something. I think I did a mistake. Oh shit. Oh shit. I think I did a mistake, guys. I did some big mistake. Okay, good. We didn't do it. I thought I had purple. Thank you. Mon. My mom should just like my videos. That is super sweet. So you see this one? Mon. That's my mom. She liked my videos. I'm lucky to have the mom that I have. She's amazing. So with Billy and Jade, Jade completely sees this as a new opportunity, which meaning that she's looking to move forward, and it's also the motivation of what's going on in your mind. For example, when there's a crisis where Billy gets bitten, you got people that are hopeful and people that aren't hopeful, which is kind of cool. It's important in the scenario. So we have this. We have um, Jade who's popular and Billy who isn't popular. Now this is super cool. Okay. So there's this bully, and she's attacking Billy because she's vegan. Now, ultimately speaking, it's kind of complex, but um, so it's nuts because